Welcome to Animal Audit Corner. Today I'm bringing you an animals' rights story. We all know Scientology has a history of abusing their members. It can be anyone from executives to anyone in the Sea Org. They were also known for abusing protesters and other critics. Scientology is also well known for abusing and killing animals belonging to all their protesters. They also known for driving their neighbors crazy. They go of their way they go out of their way to hurt everyone that claims to be a victim. They go after anybody and claim to be a victim. Scientology, as usual, would use their fair game tactic on their critics. You know that they use private investigators to try and destroy their critics. When they try and destroy any person, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You all also know how far they would go to silence a person. And they would use their pets to try and silence a person. When they try and destroy another person, sometimes it works. But other times they pull through it fine. You all also know how far they would go. Of course, they would go as far as playing the victim. They can look a person right in the eyes and start to cry. And those are crocodile tears, not real ones. Their innocence, these animals' innocence, their innocent pets have been killed when their animals were poisoned. Pets have been killed when their animals were used to intimidate people who think Scientology, thinking that the people that they wronged them. They would blame those critics. The chemical that was used in those cases were rat poison when they died. All these cases were rat poison when each and every animal Scientology killed were poisoned. Although there were some cases where they actually drowned the animals. Usually Scientology's preference of choice of chemicals is and still is rat poison. There was one incident where 3 perfectly healthy cats had no health problems. The person who had those baby kittens had an event where all those kittens got sick. Two of those 3 animals survived the episode. The third one died. The 2 babies that survived that day threw up, and the poison that was in them was no longer there. They survived. It was out of their system when they did that. But the young cat that had the chemicals still in it eventually died. In Chicago, Illinois, another Scientologist would threaten Pearl Snappy's dog. That's one of the protesters in Chicago, Illinois. I hope I didn't make. Okay. When one of them showed up at their office, Pearl Snappy, who was protesting, who is the protester that was protesting the cult, yelled at Scientology for threatening her dogs. She made that revelation when she was protesting at one of the orgs in Illinois. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Pearl was really so distressed about the whole incident. As well as that she was distressed about the whole incident. That would be the first time that anyone would make a comment like that one about Scientology. People, these people don't know each other. But however, they described the same patterns. They are known to carry out tactics while using their fair game practice. And those animals, the fair game practice, are being used on these animals. And they are caught right in the middle of Scientology and their former members, now their strongest critics. These dangerous tactics are costing all the former members and their animals their lives. Some of them are still in Scientology, but the ones who are out and have these animals, usually their animals die. But with Pearl Snappy's case, it was just a threat. Each and every one of these animals were killed by that organization. Scientology not only hurts humans, but they are hurting animals, and this is tragic. They really go after their victims and their pets. These animals died a tragic death because Scientology didn't want to let their former members leave. Then later, they would be their critics. They know each and every secret that Scientology has. Then nevertheless, that former Scientologists, now their strongest critics, has lost their pet. But ultimately, we all know Scientology has a history with their members, and it's usually not a good one. Then you know that they use private investigators to try and destroy their critics. And they would use their animals to try and silence them too. Then it would lead up to the fair game practices being used on animals, and they are caught right in the middle of Scientology and their former members. And today, they are now their critics. They know every single thing that Scientology does. And it would never be the first time that Scientology would do something like that. If their former members have pets, they would destroy them. Some of them do survive, like the example of the kittens that former members have when they gave it to a close friend or family member. Now, I wish I had the clip, but I didn't have it. So I wish I had it. So yeah, he gave it to that person, and Scientology killed one of them. The other two survived, like I mentioned. Then, in conclusion, Scientology would do anything to get even with the critics as well. And they would use their pets to do it. Now, what do you make of this story? Put it in the comments down below. If I can get to it. Anyways. All right. Is there any news on what's going on here in Scientology in Ohio? So far, according to the Census Bureau, there's about 26. And this is coming from Aaron Smith Levin. It wasn't the regular 25,000 that we predicted. It's 26,000. And what else is going on with Scientology? Well, I mentioned it yesterday. That one of the candidates that were running, well, on the ballot anyway, I gave the numbers of the former victims, which is Aaron, Well, should I mention it? Well, of course, which is Aaron, Mark, and Claire. And they pulled out of it fine and they had their lives. Now, do I want to protest these? Like I mentioned before, it looks pretty iffy, to be honest. I did send a letter to PETA, and one of their members, Joseph, plans protests. So it's going to look like that he's going to plan one. So and if they actually have a protest here in Ohio, and it's right where I am, and it's a huge crowd, most likely I'd go, but only if it's a huge crowd. And there's safety measures involved, and it's possible that I'll go. But we have to plan ahead just in case. So it really looks like, well, did I forget to tell him that? Well, I might have told him, but sometimes I just forget what I write. Every time, of course, you know, I came out with my own story of ADHD. So every time I read or write something, I sometimes just forget what I even wrote or read. That's just the way it goes with ADHD. All right. Now, it's been 23 minutes already that I've been streaming with you guys. So it looks like that should do it today. I hope the candidate that you voted for won. But of course, even though they might not win, some things are accomplished. Like with me at yesterday's poll, when I ran into one of the candidates, that person understood every single one. She has, I gave her, him or her, not going to mention any names, and they're going to deliver it to the superintendents of school. Which one, I'm not saying. So, hopefully, well, she said, he or she said that they were going to do it. I know, I believe that person. So I accomplished that. Hopefully, the superintendents in the school in Ohio hopefully stops the whole activity or prevents it from coming into the town I live in. And I think we're doing pretty good considering. And I also sent off the letter to Aaron. Did I hear from him? Not yet. I haven't checked my email yet, so I will. The other day, I sent off one of the other ideas I had with a couple of phone numbers to see what's going to happen. They did thank me for volunteering, of course. And for a change, I feel like I'm a doer. And not just a doer and doing the opposite, which was nothing. I'm actually doing it. So I'm going to keep trying hard to just do it. And I did send off all of the interviews I want to do with some of the people you see on YouTube, on SPTV. I did send one to Cubs champion, since he's constantly on the street that I used to walk down, because I got a lot to talk about with him. So keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully I'll get to that person. I mean, hopefully he'll get back to me. Of course, I've yet to hear from Miss Kim. I could call her. She told me to do that, but Austin, Texas is so far, so I just texted her. So I don't know what happened there. So I'm going to keep trying to get somebody on my show, and hopefully it's Cubs fan, because he, like I just mentioned, he is on the street of Commons, the street that I used to walk down during my childhood with my mom when she was taking me on all my appointments. So, and I know it for sure, and I know I've been in that building. So I'm hoping that he gets back to me so we can talk about it. All right, it's been 29 minutes already. So am I going to actually get my merchandise ready? I'm going to try to. So far, I haven't ordered anything yet. So that's what I'm going to do. So, and I hope it looks like that it's going to happen before Christmas hits, so I can get everything ready. The Thanksgiving ones, That Thanksgiving vase doesn't look like I'm going to put it on because I don't, yeah. So I'm questioning whether it's going to get to another person's house in time for Thanksgiving. So I am definitely questioning it. So, okay. All right. The fall ones is, I don't know if it's, yeah, I wish I thought of it sooner, but I didn't. I'm sorry about that, everybody. But I'm being honest with you. I don't really think that vase is going anywhere. I think it's probably going to stick around my house. I decided I'm not going to put it on my merch store because I'm questioning whether it's going to be at a person's house by Thanksgiving. So maybe next year. But okay, it's been 31 minutes already. So, all right. You want to contribute to my channel? You can use my PayPal account to contribute to support my channel. I'm still working on buying me a coffee. So hang in there. I'm okay. And of course, hit the like, press subscribe, and I'll definitely see you on Friday for my art therapy segment. Now, I'm not a therapist. I just call it that. But if you're interested in the therapeutic art therapy, go to the link down below. I highly recommend NAMI. They are an excellent source. All right. Well, as we say, and everybody else says, in the SPTV world, always be and never in. Well, that's what I say. Peace. See you on Friday.